Is this thing working? Are we live? Is it going to stay live? Only one way to find out. What's happening, everybody? I hope everybody's having a fantastic whatever day you're watching this. So, if you're new to the channel, thank you very much for stopping by. This is basically a background noise generator focusing on motorcycle stuff. It gives me the opportunity to interact with you directly, provided that you catch the show live. And it's my opportunity to also try out new material that I might be doing on any particular bike that I might be doing it could be a topic on for a standalone video, could be getting you guys information on, bikes, opinions on bikes that you would like to see. So in this chat, we're going to be talking primarily because it is the first week in May of Year of Our Lord 2025. Where's the R9? Sam is in. What's up, Sam? Ryan's checking in too. What's going on, Ryan? So here's the thing. The R9 from Yamaha, one of the most, anticipated motorcycles of the year 2025, hasn't quite made it to the party again. And as my man Ryan just pointed out, yeah, it was delayed again. So there's a lot of folks that are sitting around waiting on this bike to make it to the party. Now, there are a number of rumors as to why this bike can't or won't be released just yet, even though we've already had the European press release. We've recently had the North American press release, and now motorcycles aren't showing up. Matter of fact, the first run of these bikes, the delivery was supposed to be in April at the latest. Oh, wait, was it March? Anyway, it doesn't matter because it ain't happened yet anyway. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime crazy soon. And once it does start to come into play, these bikes are just going to kind of trickle into dealerships. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, take, for example, you got your order in and they told you that it was going to have a March delivery date. That's been bumped to April. And then from April, it may now be into July. And the dealership, by the way, that you may have ordered your bike from is now only going to get 4 or 6 of those motorcycles. And that could be the largest type of its dealership that's out there. Boo. Okay, this is not a good look, Yamaha. Matter of fact, this motorcycle should be C-Spot run for you guys. It's got arguably the best, if not the simplest, engine configuration in the CP3. An amazing chassis, at least by all of the reports. I say that with air quotes. We'll get to that in a second. And it's got every rider aid that the R1 already has, whether it needed it or not. So I guess the question that I have is, if you've ordered an R9 and you've been bumped not once because of a potential issue with throttle position sensors, that'll happen, or twice because of potential issues with frames, are you still going to go through with the purchase of that R9? I mean, given everything that's happened and every delay, it's pretty easy because, when you think about it, when that iron cools off, that's usually when the buyers run away. And unfortunately, one delay you can maybe get away with. Usually a lot of goodwill in the bake at that point. But 2, man, they tell you to strike while the iron's hot for a reason. And again, once a buyer gets cold, they start looking around and they start deciding that, maybe the R9 isn't the bike for them anymore. And save all of your, look how it did in super sport class racing. I know how well it's doing. But that is a race spec motorcycle with race spec riders. And there's a lot of rules that can be bent into a pretzel and still fall under the guidelines and under the guise, if not the spirit, of the written word of the handbook. So, yeah, that bike's doing well. For how long, we don't really know. But hey, listen, fantastic while they can, right? But the reality here is this. The Yamaha R9 is coming to the table with a lot of folks starting to fall off the wagon, it looks like. So I got to ask, if you're an R9 buyer, let me know if you're still in on this machine. Let me check in with you guys real quick. Oh, Skids is in. Oh, got the bald guy with the flex and the specs. I like it. DM is in. What's going on? Sam saying, man, trucks got expensive. Got a new GMC diesel. Nice. Yeah, they are pretty stupid expensive right now. I will not be buying another truck anytime soon. I'll tell you that. DM saying he's loving the new t-shirt. How do I buy one? Okay, so guys, the shirts I'm going to have, this was a test run. I'm going to get the shirts up and running here fairly soon. And what I'll do is I'll just say, look, if you hit me up with a super chat, I'll get over to my Instagram, hit me up with a DM, and I'll get it sent over to you. So we'll just kind of do it like that. The prices, I'll let you know once I get that done. It depends on how many I order. It took a minute to get everything kind of sorted out, the right everything going on here, but these are the canvas shirts. I don't get the cheap t-shirts. So this is a large, and they all fit kind of medium-ish. So, but hey, they look great, right? So anyway, I'm going to be getting large, extra large, and I might get some mediums, but I'm hoping to place that order probably within the next week or two. So I'll let you guys know. A race spec rider is not the typical us rider. No, it is not. So here's what's up, guys. So the R9, I don't want to keep, I feel like I'm bullying the R9, and I'm going to keep doing it. Okay, so here's the problem that I have with the R9. It was supposed to already been out. It was supposed to have already hit the street. In all of the press releases, that motorcycle has been received very, how do I say this? It has been extremely padded the way that folks have talked about it. If you've watched MCN, who's probably been one of the more honest reviews of that bike, you'll find that the reality of the R9, unfortunately, is starting to expose itself once it's put to the scrutiny of a racetrack. Now, I get it. The R9 realistically is not a track bike. Please make no mistake of this. The R9 is a great B and C road sporty motorcycle. It is not to be confused, and please do not get it twisted, but this bike is not to be confused with an R6, a bike that started off life as a super sport bike, a bike that had its entire existence was based around winning races. The same goes for the GSXR 600, the 636. You get the idea. This is not sport bike derived. It's still very much genetically tied to the MT-09 and the XSR 900. Not a bad place to be. But unfortunately, when you have what is in essence the most basic engine that's going into this thing, low compression, not a lot of power, and fun torque production, well, that's not a race bike. That's not a sport perform. It is not a super sports bike. It's a sport bike. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with having a sport bike. Just know your lane and stay in it. And that's, I guess, the only thing that I can say when it comes to the R9. If you're buying an R9 because you want a sport bike that is going to excel at being a sport bike, then definitely do that. But I can already hear that the keyboard's going apeshit right now. And it goes something like this. If you put cams in it and exhaust in it and an air box in it and a filter in it and a tune in it and a 520 conversion in it and a set of tires, whatever, you're going to start to hear that, and it'll walk all over an R6. Guys, okay. Maybe it is somehow or another better than an R6 in some area. Here's the problem. It ain't the R6 it's got to worry about. See, look, Baba Yaga is just sitting in a lounge chair right now, got his stogie, got his martini, and is just waiting. Just waiting. Actually, it's more like got his cigarette, got his little jar of sake, and is waiting, just waiting on the R9 to walk through the door. Because here's the issue. let's all say it together so we don't get too bored with the conversation. GSXR 750. That's the bike you got to look out for, because there is no other motorcycle that is going to be able to give the R9 a true test that's in the 600 series right now at all. The 600s are great, don't get me wrong, and I love me a GSXR 600. But when it comes to a very rich riding experience, it is, for all intents and purposes, practically impossible to beat a well-sorted 900cc triple in that street environment, that court of partial throttle, that tip-in throttle response that a 900 odd cc engine is going to deliver, like my Daytona circa 1998. See, that's the thing. This R9 has devolved into the Daytona. Meanwhile, the GSXR 750, which hasn't been changed now for what, 10 freaking years? It's in its 40th production year. Oh, by the way, everybody say happy birthday to the GSXR 1000. You know, I didn't realize that the GSXR 1000's first model year was 2001. This is 2025. That is 25 model years, because you got to count one. It's a 25-year-old platform, and the latest iteration seems like it's taken up about, 20% of that time frame. But you get the idea, guys. Look, the R9 as a street bike is going to be pretty okay, but it's never going to offer up the absolute rip that a GSXR 750 will get, or a well-sorted GSXR 600 R6 636. Mind you, the 636 is less expensive than the R9 is. And let's be real, nobody leaves these bikes stock with a tune, a filter, and a re-gear. That 636 even gives properly set up GSXR 750s all they can handle, and then some. Just ask me how I know. I'm still a little bit sore from a thorough rounding that I got from a friend of mine on a 636 about 10 years ago at T Hill. Anyway, I got to say, though, where are the other bikes that are going to take this motorcycle on head-to-head? Well, we do have the Ducati, the new V2 Panigale, but the price tag, man, that thing is way up here. And it doesn't matter that it is. Ducatistas will always find that extra change in the couch to make sure they put that Ducati in their garage. Save the embarrassment of riding another brand, am I right? KTM has gone through its second, I think it is, stop of production. So the RCR 990, go ahead and just don't hold your breath. I'm not saying write it off just yet, but that thing hadn't made it to the party yet, and I don't think it's going to get here anytime soon. So the only other bikes that are out there to give any kind of fits to the R9, well, the cheese stands alone, baby. It's the